Hi everyone, welcome to Cupboard Creations. My name is Gareth. This is my little corner of the internet for playing with my food. Today, as Christmas is approaching, I just wanted to bring us something that's kind of one of my favourite after Christmas meals. So this is what to do with your leftover turkey. So this is going to be my turkey pasta bake. And it's based on the kind of American dish, Turkey Tetrazzini, but I'm not going to use spaghetti for this one because I want to use penne. Because I want to cook my pasta in the dish. I don't want to pre-cook it because I think it just soaks up so much more flavour and makes pasta bake perfect. And what we all love about lasagna is all those lovely crispy bits on top and the slightly harder kind of al dente nature of that pasta, and it will just soak up everything and it just tastes fantastic. So let's get cracking. First thing, really nice and simple, we're going to use porcini mushrooms. These are packed full of flavour and they're all dried, so we want to kind of soften them up. So we're going to need 25 grams of porcini for this. So let's measure that out. Typical, it's the whole pack. Didn't need to spend all that time measuring it. So got those, we're just going to add a load of hot water to this. Just want to cover them. Give it a bit more, because what we want is to use that water. Once they've all soaked, we're going to use the water in the dish, and that will bring so much more flavour to that pasta. So let's top it up a little bit more. We'll only need 150 ml of it. So we're going to leave that now for 20 minutes, just so that they all soak up and they soften down. Okay, so what that's doing, we can start prepping the rest of our ingredients. So we need a couple of little bits done here beforehand. So we're going to use half a large onion, or one sort of medium sized one like this. We just want to dice that up. Try not to throw it all over the place. Okay, so that's the onion done. I'm going to use 3 cloves of garlic. So again, just chopped up really small. There we go. So garlic all chopped. Move that to the side. And then we want 150 grams of chestnut mushrooms, which I've got here. We're just going to cut these in half and then cut them into slices. So quite thin, you know, just half a centimetre slice. Okay, so they're all done and out of the way. Now we can turn our attention to these porcini. Now the porcini can, when they're dried, you can get quite a lot of dirt in with them. So we're just going to kind of drain them off a bit. So we want a bit of kitchen towel, like 2 bits of kitchen towel, and using a slotted spoon, gently pull the porcini off the top. Just lay them on there. Now what that will hopefully do is keep all the dirt at the bottom. You won't get little bits of grit. Okay, so that's about all I'm getting out there. Now we've got this in here, we just want to wrap this up. And if it's quite damp like this, just get another bit. Put that on top. And we want to squeeze that and get some of that juice, because there's loads in there, loads of flavour. There we go. Now we have our porcini mushrooms all ready to be chopped. We're going to chop these really kind of fine, because you don't want large lumps of them in there. You want these to go all throughout the meal. Just bring all that real earthy flavour all everywhere. So just going to quite simply give them a mash up. Perfect. Nice and small. Put those to one side, ready to use later. Now, they're lovely. Now we've got that water there, and that's going to add so much more flavour to this meal. Like I said, we're going to do it dry pasta. So all of this mushroom water like a stock will get into that pasta and you'll change its colour, but you'll get such an incredible flavour out of it. So because of that dirt, we want a jug, and again, another bit of kitchen towel. Just line your sieve, stick it in top, and then we're just going to pour that through, so long as I don't drop it everywhere. There we go. Now there's some rogue bits of mushroom in the bottom, but I don't want to touch them because I don't want that grit in with it. So we just pour that through. And with any luck, while doing this, we end up with a nice mushroom stock with no dirt. Which now is what you want, really, isn't it? Don't really want dirty stock. Okay, so the very last thing you're going to need for this, which you may have just seen suddenly appear, is turkey. Now, obviously with this being a kind of Christmas leftover meal, I'm guessing you're probably going to have a fair bit of it if you're using turkey for a Christmas dinner. Everyone always does too much. I've just made some of my own. Now, if you're watching this and you've got this far and you think I don't like turkey and I don't have it for Christmas, this is brilliant with chicken. You know, any leftover kind of bird roast, this will work really, really well with. So you want 250 grams of that, just shredded up. So we're just kind of ripping it into small chunks. And that will work perfect for this. So I'm going to head over to the hob and we can get cracking on the sauce. Okay, so we're here. We can start making this sauce, and this is all about the sauce. So we're just going to put a little bit of olive oil in our pan. We'll heat it up, about a tablespoon or so, and then chuck your onions in. As with any sauce like this, we want soft onions, so we're just going to pop them in. And we're going to let them sweat down for about 8 to 10 minutes. Just lid on, let them sweat, let them get nice and soft, but without colouring. So come back to you when they're ready to go. Brilliant. So that's really nice and kind of sweated down now. And now we're just going to add in our garlic and all of the rest of those mushrooms all together, trying to get them in the pan and not on the side. Fail. Brilliant. So we get those in there. Again, we're just going to sweat these down. So it's looking a little bit dry in there, and the mushrooms soak up a lot of liquid. So I'm just going to put a little bit of more olive oil in, probably about 2 tablespoons, just to kind of cool the pan slightly and allow those mushrooms to kind of suck it in, and they'll just kind of reduce much nicer. You know, they'll get so small, so packed full of flavour. Right, so they're all sweated down nicely. They've really reduced in size. There we go. So almost half the size they were, nice and soft. Brilliant. So now we get the fun bit. Let's add the wine. So we want that 200 ml of white wine. I'm going to judge it by eye, but it's just under a large glass. Perfect. And we're just going to bring that up to a simmer and then reduce it down till the wine is kind of reduced by half. That will just intensify all of that flavour. This is all about getting maximum amounts of flavour out of it. So we'll let that bubble away, lid off, and just kind of keep your eye on it, keep stirring it. Once you feel it's gone down by half, it's time for the rest of the ingredients. It's simmered down now. Kind of reduced, it's gone a lot thicker, almost not quite gravy-like, but a much thicker kind of wine to it, and the smells are fabulous. So now all we want is that porcini water we had. So we want 150 ml of this. So I've got 250 here, which is great because then I can make sure that any last sediment that was left stays at the bottom. So let's pour 150 of that in. Now I'm going to add a teaspoon of thyme. Again, thyme and mushrooms and turkey and chicken just go together so well. So we'll give that a stir around. And then again, we're just going to bring that up so it hits the simmer. Go. That cream will just cool it down, give us beautiful sauce. Perfect. Now it's nice and simple. Just add in your turkey or chicken or whatever you're using. Like I said, 250 grams of leftover turkey, chicken. Trying to think of something else that would work. There probably is plenty. Actually pork would work with this. As long as it's pre-cooked. Stir that in. And then you want 180 grams of dried penne pasta or fusilli. Something that will kind of, not spaghetti. Trying to think there, but like if you tried to put spaghetti into a bowl like this, dried, you're just going to end up with lines. So that's not going to work. So any of the kind of other pastas should work fine. I'm just going to pour that in. Now we're not going to boil it in there because it's going in the oven. The reason we want to put it in here is just so that it mixes in better. So we're going to mix that all in the pan. It makes it much easier to then put in the oven. Okay, so we can turn that off now. It's all there, it's hot, but that cream will have cooled it slightly, which is fine. We just want to move that to the back, grab ourselves a tray, and then whatever we're going to serve it in. So I'm using these little round dishes. I'm going to do one each, just because one, it looks pretty, and two, it saves on washing up. You can eat it straight out of these. So put those in there, and then it's a case of just splitting that between the two or pouring it straight into an oven-proof dish. Right, so they're all ready to go. The last thing, Parmesan cheese. Love this stuff. So I've got 60 grams of Parmesan here. Essentially just put on as much as you like, but I reckon about 60 grams should do both. So we're just going to sprinkle that all over the top. And this will give us that lovely crust like you get in a really good lasagna, you know. There we are. So they're all good. We're ready to go in the oven. So we've got our oven heated up to 170. So we're reasonably low here because we want that pasta to have enough time to soak it up. So oven's up to 170. We're going to put them in for 40 minutes. And then I'll come back to you and I'll show you the result. And it is beautiful. Awesome, so we're done. So it's 40 minutes in the oven. I can smell that wine with the thyme and stuff just throughout the house. It smells fantastic. And we're gonna have a look. Oh, that's hot. There we go. 2 beautiful bowls of my turkey pasta bake. So there we have it, my turkey pasta bake. Bubbling away like crazy. Way too hot to eat at the moment. But it's fantastic. That crisp top is just, you can hear it. Absolutely beautiful. I love this so much. For me, it's the only thing worth having turkey at Christmas for. It's so good. And I'm not a big fan of that big turkey Christmas dinner. So I kind of will struggle my way through just to have this. I absolutely love it. So I hope you enjoy it. And I want to say to everyone that's made it this far, have a really, really great Christmas. I'm not going to be releasing a video for a week or two. Just going to see it through to the new year. Spend some time kind of essentially apologising to my wife for the amount of time I've spent making these kind of cookery videos. But I just want to let you know, I'll be back in the new year. I've enjoyed this so much. I'm just going to keep going. So I'll see you then. Hope you enjoy this. Hope you give it a go. And I'll catch you next time. Cheers.